All right, hello everyone, this is Mr. Scrooge. I'm going to go over worksheet 5 with you. First thing we have is we have a relationship here, and it tells us that it's linear. So as soon as I hear linear, in my mind, I write down y equals mx plus b. It has a starting value back here at 0. Well, it has to be under 15 because the rates are going up. But if I want to find the slope from day 3 to day 7, it was an increase of 9.6. And from day 3 to day 7 is 4 days. So if I divide that, that is 2.4. And that's your slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have a slope. If you plug in a point, any point, you can work backwards and find the b value. So this equation started at 8, which is back here, fine. And it went up 2.4 every day. Wonderful. Number 2, solve the equation. The first thing I did was factor this, because that's just x plus 4, x minus 4. Then I can divide those out, and I have x minus 4 is equal to negative 3, which is 1. Use the graph to answer these. F of 4, that means at input 4, what's the output? Negative 3. What that really means is it's an XY chart. If you input 4, you output negative 3. This one asks, well, what if you output negative 1? Well, right here and here, the outputs are negative 1. So when x is 3, y is negative 1. When x is 6, y is negative 1. Intercept of a parabola. Well, x-intercepts look like this. We have an x value but no y value. That means on this graph, there's a point here and a point there at 6 and negative 3. Well, it's easy enough just to factor it. Once you factor it, now you have the two solutions. That's it. Solving absolute value. Don't forget, this value could be positive, and we have an answer, or it could be negative, because if you put a negative number here, let's say you put a negative 13 there, well, the absolute value of negative 13 turns positive, so it is negative 2. G of x, plug in 3. Get this, plug in negative 2, get 1 and 1/4. Plug in 0, get 1 plus 1 is 2. Do the computation, 9 and 3/4. The mean of each list is the average. If you add them all up and divide by 5 on both of them, whoops, I did not divide by 5, divide by 5, and you get 5 for an average. That's the average value. Which list has a higher standard deviation? Well, that is a new measurement that we're going to talk about sometime when we talk about statistics. It is list B. List B is more spread out. These values in list A are all clumped together. They all group together around 5. If you look at these ones, they're more spread out. Standard deviation is a measure of spread. B has values that are more spread apart from the middle. Just think of it as 5 is in the middle. All of these are close to 5. These values are close to 5. 5 is in the middle. These values are further from 5. So further means higher standard deviation. Right circular cone has a volume of 32. Well, right here's the formula for a cone. Get that on your reference sheet. Plug in a 32 pi there. Pi r squared is what I don't know in the height. Multiply this, let's see here, let's take this 32. Let's multiply it by 3, then divide the 6 over, and I have 16. The pi's will divide out. I'm left with 4 when I solve that one. Linear equation here. Well, y equals mx plus b. Where does it start? Well, if I continue this line, it looks like it starts at about 100. And then what's the slope? I chose this point, and I went up 400. And I chose this value over here, and I went from 12 to 25. Whoops, should have changed this. Let me change this number here for you. I'm going to go up 400, and I'm going to go from 25 to 12. So I went up 400 between these points and over 13. From here to here is over 13, and it's up 14, so I had that slope wrong. That means it's going up about $30.76 per day. That's the amount that it's going up per day. it just says estimate, so I'm just gonna round it to about 31. So in this line, temperature, sales, starting at about 100 and then going up about 31 per day. All right, and the last one, equation here. All these angles add up to 180 degrees. I have 5x, and if I put these together, it is 25. Solve the equation, is 31. All right, hope this helps.